Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins, and welcome to the Black Financial Report on theblackfinancialchannel.com. I wanted to give you guys an update on what was going on in the stock market today. Today was a crazy roller coaster. You saw this morning that you had some good news, and then the good news became bad, really bad news, and then the bad news became really good news again. Today, the Dow actually closed up a little bit, which I thought was really fascinating, given how it got there. All throughout the day, I kept seeing, things go up and down and up and down and up and down. And it was just kind of the craziest thing ever. We ended with a 400-point gain today, 477, which only makes up a fraction of the massive loss from yesterday. Yesterday, we dropped about 1,800 points on the Dow. So we're about 25,600, which is really good, actually, compared to the to where we were just a few weeks ago. So I'm looking here, and based on my research, what I can tell you is that you have some interesting developments. Airlines actually moved quite a bit, as well as some of these cruise ship companies, Carnival, stuff like that. I'm a little nervous about Carnival. I never liked them as a company, but they've been one of the biggest winners recently. So, there is some value there, it appears. And from what I'm reading here, it says the stocks that are up the most from the lows are still the risk on high beta value small cap stocks. So yeah, a lot of the growth stocks, small cap stocks are in the eyes of many experts are actually overpriced, so you're getting some momentum there, but you could see some problems later on because the multiples are super duper high. Some of the companies, in terms of where the value is right now, from what I've seen in the market, is related to maybe value stocks, either on the domestic market or in the emerging markets. If you go into the Black Stock Market Program, what I'll do is I'll put together a list of some value stocks that you guys may want to take a look at when you go into what Dr. Boyce is buying. Those of you who aren't members, if you want to join the Black Stock Market Program for $1, you can actually go to theblackstockmarketprogram.com, THE, that's theblackstockmarketprogram.com. So I'll go and research and find some emerging market value stocks, mutual funds that will help take advantage of some of that value. The other thing that's interesting here is that everything now pretty much comes down to the vaccine. And that's the funny thing. Everybody knows a vaccine's coming, which to me tells me that everybody knows that the market's going to do well and it's going to recover and it's going to be fine. I mean, if there's no way to believe that we won't ever have a vaccine or that we'll never get back to normal. So what I'm actually doing is, holding assets and just kind of waiting for things to get back to normal. Then you should see some increases in prices and things like that. Nobody knows what the other side's going to look like. I mean, you got, companies that actually benefited from the pandemic. Then you got companies that took a temporary hit from the pandemic. Then you have companies that are going to have a permanent hit from the pandemic. So categories 1 and 2 are companies that people are aiming for, that you really want to aim for. The last category of companies that are going to get just body slammed and never get back to normal, or maybe have significant balance sheet problems as a result of the pandemic, those are the companies you want to avoid. A lot of also what's moving the market, from what I'm gathering, is just not just the news, but what the news means in terms of what current news means for future news. So there is what they might call a news momentum. News momentum is where you get some bad news, right? And then because you got some bad news, since you got some bad news before, you expect to get some more bad news a little bit later. And then, because you expect more bad news, the price drops further and further because of the anticipation of bad news. So it's almost just like, every time you hear something bad, you're thinking, okay, there's going to be 3 or 4 more bad things that are going to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and just get myself ready for, 3 or 4 tranches of bad news. And so these infection rate headlines are going to pretty much dominate the news for a while. Infections will go up because there's going to be more testing. Also, because when you open up the economy, you're going to have more infections. You're going to have more people getting exposed to stuff. Death rates probably matter a little bit more than infection rates. In a way, I compare it to, if I shut down all automobile driving because I don't want anybody to die in a car accident. So we tell everybody, don't use your car at all, this entire month. And then when we open up and say, okay, you can start driving again, well, you're going to start having car accidents. And those are going to be headlines. Like, we had 10 more people that died in car crashes today in the United States, and so how we respond as a society is going to be really interesting. But I personally think that, a lot of the decline that occurred today was called for. I mean, or yesterday actually was supposed to happen, and then the reversal happened again today. So you're just seeing a lot of volatility. You know, the market's known for having a lot of day-to-day reversals. You know, and so you know, I like to just sort of, you know, buy dips when dips, you know, occur. I just buy more stuff, but then I'm also buying, you know, when things are going up as well, because there is momentum and there are reversals, and so it's hard to know which one you're going to get on a given day. I think the other piece here is that long term, though, there are some risk factors in the market. For example, a lot of people are really concerned about the fact that the debt levels of the federal government are so incredibly high, and that we could be entering into something that could become a long-term depression. There are some experts who believe we're headed into a depression level sort of thing. And I can tell you this, if we don't get the economy open again, we're going to have a Great Depression. No question about it. The federal government cannot carry this economy for very long. You know, it's almost like if I'm making $80,000 a year and then I lose my job and I'm living off my mother's Social Security check. Well, my mother might be able to help me for a month or two, but she can't carry me for 5 years, right? So the government cannot carry this economy for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And so what I really just hope at the very least is that the politicians don't play games with your livelihood. I hope that they do what's right by the American people, which means, you know, if we can open with having a minimum number of deaths, we should open up. If we can't, then yeah, okay, let's shut down. But it's actually a good thing that you actually have the push and pull where you have people that are calling out for health conscious behavior. Okay, let's shut down. Let's be careful. But then you got other people saying, yeah, let's be careful, but let's not shut down because people need their jobs, etc. You know, I know a lot of people who say, look, I will risk my job if it means that, or sorry, I will risk catching, you know, a cold or catching a virus or whatever that probably won't kill me if that means I get to pay my bills, you know, because remember, most people don't catch the virus. More people don't catch it than do. And when you get it, you probably won't die. Most of those people do not die. I think your chances of survival are well over 95%. And if you're under the age of 70, they go up to probably 98, 99%. So, you know, I think that it's just important to know we have facts as opposed to just overreacting emotionally, because that's not going to get us where we need to get to. So anyway, that's sort of the layout of the stock market report for today. Make sure you subscribe to theblackfinancialchannel.com. I'll give you some regular updates, guys. Theblackfinancialchannel.com. Also tonight, today's Friday, June 12th. So tonight we're doing Black Movie Night. We're going to analyze the Malcolm X speech, The Ballad or the Bullet. So instead of watching a movie, which is what we typically do on Black Movie Night, we're going to actually watch a movie that features Malcolm X giving a speech, and we're going to then break that down afterward. And I have some good stuff for you guys. I think you're going to like it. So if you'd like to register, it's totally free, sponsored by the Black Business School. Feel free to go to theblackbusinessschool.com. Sorry, scratch that. Let me give you the URL again. My apologies. blackmovienight.net. Not .com. That's blackmovienight.net. That's where you can register for Black Movie Night, totally free. But also the blackbusinessschool.com is out there as well if you want to go learn more about starting your business or investing, whatever the case may be. All right, guys, have a good day. I shall see you soon. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Peace.